The Ministry of National Security is investigating the circumstances that led to a rubber dinghy coming ashore at the Keys Bay, St. Kitts, on March 9th. According to a statement from the ministry, having been alerted by the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Coast Guard of suspicious activity in the area, officers of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force and the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Infantry responded to the scene. Though the vessel was met empty, the law enforcement officers observed several personal items in the vessel, an indication that it had previously been occupied by multiple persons. It is currently unknown if the dinghy came ashore with said persons on board. The Ministry of National Security in the release and the police force are soliciting the assistance of the general public. Should anyone observe any strange or suspicious persons in their community, they are asked to kindly contact the nearest police station immediately. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
The architectural renderings for a redeveloped Vance Armory International Airport project were released in the second town hall meeting on the expansion held 14th March 2024 at Franklin Browns Community Center. According to top NIA officials, land and property purchase and relocation for some residents are progressing on track for an airport expansion that is expected to boost tourism and related economic activity on the island. The lead coordinator on the $25 to $30 million project, Alexis Jeffers, spoke on the scope of works to be done, with Daniel Cassell making a PowerPoint presentation on behalf of consultants Perez Engineering, explaining some of the issues that are involved.
We would also remove the entire perimeter fence and upgrade that as well, taller fence and much more secured fence line for the airport property. We also will improve, refurbish, and enhance the passenger terminal. We are also going to improve and enhance the control tower. We will be constructing a brand new fire hall and the appropriate equipment. We're also extending the runway and resurfacing that runway as well. We're also going to be including in that expansion brand new lighting for the airfield. Additionally, we'll be constructing a new jet hangar, improve apron space and expanded apron space as well, parking apron that is. Also, there will be a brand new fuel farm that will be constructed. And indeed, we will be relocating the cargo facility, cargo facility by constructing a brand new cargo shed. And of course, we're in discussions with a particular company who are interested in operating a flight school out of the Vance Armory International Airport. So the scope of work is all meant to enhance, improve, and also bring new life to the Vance Armory International Airport.
The fuel farm, the existing one, is too close to the installation. It doesn't comply with ICAO, the International Airport Organization's standards, and we will move it to this area on the new expansion zone. The cargo installation will be here with a new apron and a new taxiway, separated from the operation of the terminal building. Now we have the cargo in the terminal building, something that's not proper. It doesn't work. We don't need to have all these people and organizations coming into the terminal building to get the cargo. And when the airport grows in this capacity for landing, it's going to grow on cargo as well. I mean, bigger planes, more cargo, for sure, in and out. So we need a proper installation to handle the cargo. The existing fire station, as you can see, we will see, it's abandoned because the structure, it's just done, and there is a temporary thing, built, and we will build a new one. The control tower, even though it's in working condition, but is in really bad shape. So we will fix that tower and we will reshape the exterior of the control tower as well as part of the design. That's basically all the elements of the site plan.
In the next 2 weeks, the environmental impact study should be completed, and this document will be presented at an upcoming town hall meeting. Glenn Bart reporting for SKN Newsline.
So the reason I love the cable, the prices are reasonable and affordable, and they give back so much to the community and the country.
It's the event of the year when Gospel Outreach Ministries present Jesus Party Sunset Cruise on Sunday, March 31st at 5 p.m. on the Prince Devontae J, featuring M1, Roots Gospel Band, and Tehila. Tickets $60. Call 663-1528 to purchase your tickets. It's the Jesus Party Sunset Cruise, March 31st on the Prince Devontae J, leaving the marina at 5 p.m. Don't you miss it.
It's beautiful. He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
In the city. Just in the city. In the city. Just in the city.
The first two houses, designed and constructed through East Coast Housing Development, ECHD, in collaboration with the National Housing Corporation, was officially handed over 14th March 2024 during a ceremony held in Connery Village. Under the housing program, East Coast Housing Development will deliver over 2,400 houses that have been described as climate smart by some officials. The first house at Connery was provided to Ms. Shamara Huggins, inclusive of complete furniture and free internet and cable for 1 year. In the brief ceremony, remarks were presented by Brian Singh of East Coast Housing Development, the Minister with responsibility for human settlement, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, and by Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew.
We had a lot of challenges in trying to train the locals in technology, which we have mastered. now, like in everything new, you have teething problems. So we are proud to be here, and based on the fact that some people wanted to know, what about the leaks? We want to explain that basically your walls are loaded with the two panels put together, and then steel inside, you had a concrete, and it went up. So someone said, well, it go up and you have to put your roof across. We said, no, the roof is not going across like that with the wall. The wall is loaded with the concrete, and it comes over the roof, and it comes down the other side. There's continuity, so there's no joining at the roof. We know that we stand by what we give. We are saying that we give a 10-year structural warranty in our contract.
They are havens for families. They have been meticulously designed to withstand disasters, ensuring the safety of our residents. But that's not all. These homes also allow for expansion on the top, providing families with the flexibility to grow without hassle. As we hand over the keys to these smart homes, let us remember that this is not just about bricks and mortar. It is about creating a better future for our people. These homes represent our commitment, to progress, innovation, and well-being of our citizens.
I want to, of course, wrap up by saying that this house will go to someone from the area. And just allow me to read very quickly as to who would receive this home. This home will go to a 41-year-old woman from the area who was born right here in Connery. And she's very deserving of this opportunity that she can call her own home, where her family can settle in more comfort and peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of Miss Huggins, and I think that she's here with her family. She's right here. Let's put your hands together for her. Shamara, you will get everything that was spoken of.
Over the past several months, local contractors and artisans have been trained to work with the new construction technologies involved in constructing the houses. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The Ministry of National Security is investigating the circumstances that led to a rubber dinghy coming ashore at the Keys Bay, St. Kitts, on March 9th. According to a statement from the ministry, having been alerted by the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Coast Guard of suspicious activity in the area, officers of the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force and the St. Kitts Nevis Defence Force Infantry responded to the scene. Though the vessel was met empty, the law enforcement officers observed several personal items in the vessel, an indication that it had previously been occupied by multiple persons. It is currently unknown if the dinghy came ashore with said persons on board. The Ministry of National Security in the release and the police force are soliciting the assistance of the general public. Should anyone observe any strange or suspicious persons in their community, they are asked to kindly contact the nearest police station immediately. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.
So the reason I love the cable, prices are reasonable and affordable, and they give back so much to the community and the country.
It's the event of the year when Gospel Outreach Ministries present Jesus Party Sunset Cruise on Sunday, March 31st at 5 p.m. on the Prince Devontae J, featuring M1, Roots Gospel Band, and Tehila. Tickets $60. Call 663-1528 to purchase your tickets. It's the Jesus Party Sunset Cruise, March 31st on the Prince Devontae J, leaving the marina at 5 p.m. Don't you miss it.
It's beautiful.
He took one look at you and the angels started singing.
Another wonderful day.
What would you say about staying here for a few months or like a year, just so that we can be together again and just live and love and laugh and have fun and breathe?
Why are you hiding out on a little Caribbean island, singing in a beach bar?
When I came here, I was at peace, and I never left.
This is the beating heart of Nevis. This is what grounds me, what feeds my soul. It's where I found myself.
I hope your life here will be full of joy. Love this island, my son. She will give you more than you can imagine.
Gist in the city. Gist in the city. Gist in the city. Gist in the city.
Meanwhile, in the UK, attorneys representing Vybz Kartel and his co-accused say they left the Privy Council satisfied. They spoke with TVJ News after the judgment earlier today. Romardo Lyons tells us more.
God and time, and we always know that God and time.
And a quash. One that has evoked a sense of joy from those representing the appellants. For one, Isaac Buchanan, attorney for Adidja Vybz Kartel Palmer, is loving every minute.
I'm very happy about that. It was a just decision, it was the right decision, and it was what was expected.
And as expectations reach fever pitch among supporters, the question among many is, what does it mean for Mr. Palmer and his team? Standing outside the Privy Council, just minutes after the judgment, Mr. Buchanan gladly responded.
What it means is that in the same guidance that they had sorted, the judges have the discretion now to deal with the matter at the local level, which is in keeping with judicial independence, in keeping with our independence and what our constitution speaks about.
Julian Malin's KC, who was a part of the legal team for Sean Storm Campbell, says the Privy Council made a sound judgment.
Well, I think it was entirely the right decision. They're on remand now, not convicted persons. So we regard this as a very big win.
Mr. Palmer is not a convict. He does not have a conviction. Mr. Sean Campbell does not have a conviction. Mr. Andre St. John is not convicted on this matter. And Mr. Keras Jones, his conviction is quashed on this.
Meanwhile, it's the hope of attorney Linda Hudson that the Court of Appeal considers all the relevant factors. One that immediately comes to mind:
the time that the appellants have spent in custody and also media publicity, etc. But I'm sure, I feel comfortable that the Court of Appeal will come to the right decision on that.
And in the event there's a retrial, Ms. Hudson says there's one question at the center of it all.
And whether a fair trial is at all possible.
There were some supporters of Mr. Palmer who were unstoppable, The men said they had to be at the Privy Council on Thursday for the judgment.
I know, say, there's not the 100% to say my man guilty them way there, to how they trying to portray him. You understand? I'm not saying he's without sin, but there's a lot more to this, and them not giving no justice.
When you look at the evidence and how the court deal with it in Jamaica, you can see it was an unsafe conviction, you know, and a lot of violation of rights. And here in the UK, they deal with your rights.
Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
A federal judge has denied a motion to dismiss charges against former President Donald Trump's handling of classified documents, and a new wave of violence has broken out in Haiti's capital. Good morning, I'm Kristen Wright from NPR News, and here are today's top stories. A federal judge in Florida is saying no to Donald Trump's request to dismiss charges in one of the criminal cases against the former president. It involves Trump's handling of classified documents after he left the White House. NPR's Greg Allen reports.
Trump is charged with withholding and concealing classified and top-secret documents he took to Mar-a-Lago from the White House, and then lying about it to investigators. Judge Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, heard two motions to dismiss the case. In one, Trump says the statute under which he's being prosecuted is unconstitutionally vague. The judge denied that motion. Trump is charged with having unauthorized possession of classified and top-secret documents. His lawyers say, as president, Trump effectively designated them as personal records and gave himself authorization to take them when he left the White House. Judge Cannon has yet to rule on that motion. She says the defense arguments raise factual issues best brought up at trial. Greg Allen, NPR News, Fort Pierce.
A judge will decide whether to delay Trump's hush money trial in New York. Prosecutors say they are open to a delay of up to 30 days. Trump's legal team requested more time to review new records. Gangs in Haiti have unleashed another day of violence in the country's capital. NPR's Ader Peralta reports it comes as political groups try to form a transitional council.
The gangs rampaged across Port-au-Prince on Thursday. They shot at the airport just as workers had begun to fix damage from previous attacks. Local news reported that gangs had also looted the house of the director of the National Police and then set it on fire. The violence follows a couple of days of relative quiet, and it comes just days after Haiti's prime minister agreed to resign, and days after the international community brokered a deal to install a transitional council that will eventually elect a new transitional prime minister. Some prominent gang leaders have rejected the plan, saying it doesn't represent the will of the Haitian people. The gangs have threatened more violence as a means to oppose the plan. Ader Peralta, NPR News, Cap Haitian in northern Haiti.
Russia's presidential election starts today. Vladimir Putin is expected to secure a fifth term. NPR's Charles Maines says there are other candidates and those who did not make it on the ballot.
Two anti-war candidates were disqualified over supposed registration violations. And of course, Putin's fiercest challenger, Alexei Navalny, died in a remote prison colony under circumstances that still aren't clear. Navalny's allies certainly think his death or murder was timed to these elections. In fact, they're calling on people to honor Navalny's last known political wish to protest the vote by swarming the polling stations at noon on Sunday.
Voting takes place over 3 days. Tornadoes and severe weather swept parts of the Midwest, killing at least 3 people in Ohio. You're listening to NPR News in Washington.
I love the cable because they really look out for different groups of people. I'm on the Creative Park, and they provide services tailored and dedicated to people just like me.
Introducing St. Kitts and Nevis's newest TV channel, Television Caribbean, TVC Channel 40, on the cable's Ultra TV. TVC promises to deliver the finest in television broadcasting in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean, with some of the best local programs in news, sports, and entertainment. Join us for Insights, where we delve into the lives of our guests.
Let me see what happens if I put this big explosion. Like, okay, note to self, don't do that again.
Or get in-depth analysis on Newsline 360. We have sports, entertainment, and inspiration. It's all here on TVC Channel 40 on the cable's Ultra TV on TelTV cable network in St. Martin and on our website www.tvcplus.live. TVC Channel 40. See the difference.
Online radio has never been this great. It's Voice of the Caribbean Radio at voiceofthecaribbean.net. Tune into Voice of the Caribbean Radio for great Caribbean programs, news, entertainment, sports, and current affairs. Wake up each morning and be inspired with One Day at a Time with Kim Huey. Stay abreast with news across the Caribbean and internationally with the Caribbean News Hour, and be entertained with shows like Reggaeville, Caribbean Classics, and Jive Music Show. Visit our website or listen us on TuneIn Radio. There is so much more on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, reaching the Caribbean and beyond. Check website for program schedule.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
I love the cable because they're real. What you see is what you get. No hidden agenda, no tricks, just real, honest communication.
Hello there. We begin in the United States, where time is ticking for TikTok. The chief of the social media app, Shouzi Chu, was grilled by lawmakers over a whole range of issues, mostly related to the company's Chinese ownership. His appearance before the Congressional Committee comes after the Biden administration threatened to ban the social media app if the company's Chinese owners didn't sell their shares. TikTok is wildly popular in the States. It's got over 150 million American users, including almost 5 million businesses. Well, our North America business correspondent Michelle Fleury has been following the story from Washington, D.C.
It was never going to be easy, but from the moment the committee chairman opened the hearing calling for TikTok to be banned in the United States, there was no let-up. TikTok CEO Shouzi Chu was bombarded by lawmakers, worried that the app's Chinese ownership makes it untrustworthy and that it is harmful to American teenagers. Politicians of all stripes slammed TikTok, including Republican Representative Buddy Carter.
The Chinese Communist Party is engaged in psychological warfare through TikTok to deliberately influence U.S. children.
Out of the gate, the Singaporean boss of TikTok sought to push back against this characterization.
Would also like to talk about national security concerns that you have raised, that we take very, very seriously. Let me start by addressing a few misconceptions about ByteDance, of which we are a subsidiary. ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government. It's a private company. 60% of the company is owned by global institutional investors, 20% is owned by the founder, and 20% owned by employees around the world.
But lawmakers remain skeptical, leading to some contentious exchanges like this one.
Have you directed them to change that source code?
Congressman, if you give me a bit of time to just...
No, I don't. It's a yes or no question. Have you directed your engineers to change that source code?
I'm not sure I understand.
Why are you allowing TikTok to continue to have the capacity for censorship, and yet you claim here that you don't?
On Wednesday, TikTok gathered a group of influencers to protest the Biden administration's threat to ban the app unless it divests from its Chinese owners.
TikTok has done much more than just give me exposure. It has actually allowed me to increase my income by 700%. And this extra income has allowed me to support myself, build a studio, and pay staff. And then this platform is taken away, then I'm not sure if I'll be able to continue to do that.
Despite the app's rapid growth in America, and despite the CEO's promise to earn the country's trust, it's unlikely that those worried about TikTok will have changed their minds after this hearing. Michelle Fleury, BBC News in Washington.
Well, Jasmine Enberg is a principal analyst at social media in Insider Intelligence, and I put it to her that since there's no evidence that TikTok has passed data on to the Chinese government, how does the chief executive go about proving a negative?
It was incredibly tough questioning, and there was very, very little that Chu could say to sway U.S. lawmakers' minds. He really had to prove a negative, that TikTok isn't or can't be used by the Chinese Communist Party to influence U.S. public opinion. In that sense, it's not just about data privacy, it's about soft influence and the type of content that is served on TikTok.
How important is TikTok to American consumers and American businesses?
It's become incredibly important. There's a lot of creators who have built their brands and built their businesses on TikTok and who would be severely impacted if the app were to be banned here. That said, a lot of creators are prepared for the potential of a ban. They're already using other platforms. Many of them have set up small businesses, so they do have other ways of reaching their customers and their audiences.
Can TikTok actually do without an American market if it needed to? Is that a possibility or not at all?
Well, the U.S. is an incredibly important market for TikTok, and billions of dollars are at stake here. So at Insider Intelligence, we estimate that TikTok will rake in about $7 billion in the U.S. alone, and that's about half of its worldwide ad revenues. Now, a lot of TikTok's meteoric growth over the past couple of years has also come at the expense of some US-based companies, including Meta and YouTube. So it's incredibly important, and there's a lot of factors at play here for why this is happening.
And what did we actually learn from the committee hearing yesterday? Did we learn any more about the access that the Chinese government might have to data, or not really?
There weren't really any big revelations today. Chu stuck mainly to his talking points. He talked a lot about Project Texas and the work that they're doing to protect and store American data on U.S. soil, but he didn't really offer much new evidence or much new in terms of what they're doing. That said, he also didn't always have a lot of time to be able to answer a lot of the questions that the lawmakers proposed. Again, it was really incredibly tough questioning, and he stuck mainly to those talking points.
Heading to Miami Beach now, where it's bracing for a pretty chaotic weekend. Spring break on its way, colliding with St. Patrick's Day. Police already deploying extra officers and setting up DUI checkpoints across the city. Andrew Dimbert's been following it.
Miami Beach put to the test.
This weekend is really, yes, it's historically been our toughest weekend.
After years of spring breakers wreaking havoc on this small island, officials are looking to curb the chaos with arguably the toughest restrictions yet, including DUI checkpoints, $100 parking, bag checks, $500 towing fees, and now all parking garages will be closed to visitors. More than a dozen drones will be patrolling overhead, 140 plus state troopers and even the Coast Guard deploying to help local police. Miami Beach Commissioner David Suarez says this season is different.
Every year there was always a shooting and there was always a death, and it's sad, and that's not Miami Beach.
We need to talk.
It started with a now viral ad with more than 200 million views and counting.
Until then,
we're breaking up with you.
Leaders say the crackdown is working. There were nearly 600 spring break-related arrests last year and 2 deaths, compared to roughly 200 arrests and 0 fatalities this year.
We needed to end spring break. We're bringing back law and order.
But some vacationers say it's all a bit much.
It's just really overwhelming. With the heavy police presence, it's just too overwhelming.
And with Miami Beach cracking down in nearby Fort Lauderdale Beach, only about 30 minutes north of here, they're seeing massive crowds, but law enforcement sources there tell me they too have things under control. Kira?
All right, Andrew, thank you.
Fast Cash Saddlers United FC crushed KFC Trinity Challengers United 12 goals to nil in SKNFA Division 1 League action on Tuesday, March 12 at the National Bank Group of Companies Technical Center in St. Peters. Goal scorers for Saddlers, Daquan Watley in the 9th minute, Darius Rollins is scoring a hat-trick in the 14th, 18th and 32nd minute. Ron Johnson also scoring a hat-trick in the 42nd, 48th and 71st minute. Shamar Phipps scoring 2 goals in the 63rd and 66th minutes. Istvan Barnes in the 73rd minute, Kurt Mills in the 76th minute and Tavon Jones in the 89th minute. After the match, Saddlers coach Samuel Phipps said they learned from the 2-0 loss to Mantab last week, which caused them to approach this game differently.
And we worked on some stuff for this game, and everything that we worked on came out in this game. The rotation of the midfield and the defense playing confidently, the goalkeeper playing brilliantly with his feet. So all these things are things that we put in place for this game.
In the night's earlier match, Mantab and Molineux ended in a 2-2 draw. Ramon Brown and Junior Hodge scored for Molineux in the 44th and 90th minutes, respectively, and Sylvester Alexander and Tyrese Jeffrey in the 5th and 46th minute, respectively, for Mantab. The Escanife Division 1 League continues on Wednesday and Thursday. A scintillating battle between TGA Diabe Eagles and Security Forces FC ensued at the National Bank Group of Companies Technical Center in St. Peters on Wednesday, March 12th in the 2024 Escanife Division 1 League. That match saw Security Forces battling back from 2-0 down at halftime to draw the match 3-3 in the dying moments of the game. In the process, Diabe had 3 players issued red cards and ended the match with 8 players on the field. Assistant coach of Security Forces Kenrick McNeil said his team's resilience was based on sticking to the game plan.
Well, to stick into the plan, originally what we practice. What we practice, we come out here and looking to execute. I have to commend the players for keeping and holding strong, because it was 3 or 2-0 in the first half, coming up, and we improve and constantly improve on what we practice.
What would you rate what would you say led to the team having that resolve and believing that you could have come and get a point from this game?
The communication and the team believing in the system and believing in the players them that we put on the field. And all of us came together and we executed. Team within teams, no space, no time.
How can you build on this now going forward?
Well, as it is, back to the training grounds, keeping on the system, building, keeping momentum going and advancing to how far we can reach into the competition.
The Escanife Division 1 League continues on Tuesday with a doubleheader with Rivers of Living Water versus Connery Fireballs International at 6 p.m. and Jones Group Sandy Point versus Davis Construction Lodge Patriots at 8 p.m. Both matches will be at the National Bank Group of Companies Technical Center.